This deep dive is powered by Growth Suite. Growth Suite helps you to run smart discount campaigns on your store. Test it for free on your Shopify store. Just land on the Shopify App Store now and test it for free. Okay, so think about this. Have you ever clicked on a product, maybe even bought something, just because the person in the photo looked, I don't know, friendly?
It happens all the time, right?
Which exactly. So today, we're really diving into the surprising power of human faces in e-commerce. We've been looking at neurological research, e-commerce studies, especially digging into this article, Neurological Responses to Faces in E-commerce, the Human Connection. And our mission really is to figure out how just showing faces online can, boost your sales, build trust, and just make the whole experience more engaging for you, the customer or the store owner.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff
Yeah.
because our response to faces is so deeply wired. Think about it. Forever. We built trust face-to-face, smiles, eye contact.
Right, that warmth you get in a physical shop.
Exactly. That's where it started.
Yeah. And e-commerce, when it first came along, it was super convenient, obviously, but sometimes it felt a bit impersonal, lacking that human touch.
Totally. Just grids of products. But you see this shift happening now, right? More human elements are creeping back in.
Like what kind of things?
Well, you see staff photos more, like on About Us pages, live chats with actual people's pictures sometimes, even video calls for support.
Yeah, true.
And interestingly, as everything's gone more digital, consumer trust in purely online stuff has actually kind of dipped a bit.
Really? So that human touch is even more important now.
It seems that way. It's becoming vital for you to build that connection online.
Okay, let's get into the brain side of things then, because apparently our brains are just like magnets for faces. They grab our attention more than anything else.
That's pretty much it, yeah. There's this specific spot in the brain in the temporal lobe called the fusiform face area, the FFA.
FFA.
Think of it as your brain's dedicated face detector. Super fast. Its whole job is spotting and recognizing faces.
Wow. So like built-in facial recognition tech.
You got it.
Yeah.
And it's evolutionary, right? Back in the day, quickly figuring out friend or foe from a face was, well, critical for survival.
Makes sense.
And that instinct, it's still running when you're just scrolling through a website. So even a quick glance at a friendly face, it just flips a switch in our brain. Pay attention here.
Okay, so this isn't just some vague feeling. This brain wiring directly impacts, your e-commerce success, real business results.
Absolutely. It translates directly. When you put credible human faces on your site especially, like genuine smiles, maybe photos of your actual team, it can create this almost instant feeling of trust for someone visiting for the first time.
Yeah.
Subconsciously, they feel a bit safer, more comfortable buying from you.
That immediate trust could make a huge difference, right? Like lowering bounce rates straight away.
Definitely. And it's not just that first impression. The research points to more engagement overall.
So people stick around longer, click more things.
Exactly. They spend more time, interact more, and crucially for your bottom line, this often leads to better purchase rates. It's like you're building this silent connection.
And what about remembering the brand later? Does showing faces help with that too?
Oh, for sure. Memorability is key for long-term relationships. Faces make your brand stickier.
Stickier?
Yeah, like if a customer subconsciously links a friendly face to your product, they're way more likely to remember you down the line. Come back for another purchase. You just don't get that with a faceless site.
Okay, so we know that faces work, but let's dig deeper into the why. What's actually happening in the brain circuitry?
Right, the neurobiology. So we mentioned the fusiform gyrus, the face recognizer, but other areas light up too. The amygdala is a big one.
The amygdala, that's the emotion center, right?
Exactly. It's like the brain's rapid emotional scanner. It reacts super fast to the emotion it sees in a face, a smile, versus, say, a frown. And that reaction instantly colors how we feel about that person and, the brand they represent for you.
So just seeing a smile literally makes you feel better about the brand, almost instantly.
That's the idea, yeah. Then you've got the prefrontal cortex.
Okay, what does that do?
That handles the more complex social stuff, judging trustworthiness, approachability. It picks up on all the subtle cues in a face and makes these really quick assessments that guide your customers' decisions.
It's like a super fast background check just from a photo.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
And get this, seeing a face can trigger something called facial mimicry.
Mimicry, like we copy the expression.
Unconsciously, yes.
Yeah.
Even just tiny muscle movements.
Yeah.
We mirror the expression we see, and that helps us feel empathy, feel a connection with the person in the picture.
Wow. So if I see a smiling face on your site, I might slightly smile myself without realizing, and that makes the whole experience feel better.
That's the theory. And it can even have a chemical effect.
Like hormones.
Neurotransmitters, yeah. Friendly faces might trigger a bit of dopamine, that's the reward chemical,
Mhm.
and maybe even oxytocin, the bonding hormone.
So it creates this positive feedback loop associating good feelings with your brand.
Exactly. It taps into our basic social wiring. It puts your potential customers in a warmer, more receptive state much faster than just words on a screen ever could. It's a powerful tool for you.
Okay, and you mentioned faces grab attention. How does that work in like the chaos of an average web page?
Well, it's what we call face preference. Our brains are just hardwired to scan for faces first before other visual stuff. It's automatic.
So put a face on your site, and it's likely the first thing people lock onto. That's a huge advantage for making that first impression count.
Absolutely. And it helps with memory, too. If you pair your product or brand name with a face,
You remember it better.
much better. We remember details about people way more easily than abstract logos or text. Think how much more memorable your brand could be if people associate it with a friendly face.
Yeah, that makes total sense. We remember people we meet. Okay, so the why is powerful. What about the actual research? What do studies in e-commerce show is happening in practice for businesses like yours?
Right, the real-world evidence. Researchers use a bunch of methods. Eye tracking is a big one, seeing where people actually look.
Okay.
Then there's neuroimaging like fMRI and EEG, which show brain activity. And of course, just tracking behavior, clicks, sales, time on site, all that good stuff for you.
Let's start with eye tracking. What does that tell us?
Eye tracking consistently shows that users' eyes land on faces within seconds of hitting a page, often before they even read the headline next to it.
Wow, seconds. So the face is the anchor point.
It really is. And here's a cool finding. If the face on the page is looking towards the Buy Now button,
Yeah.
clicks on that button tend to go up. Our eyes naturally follow where the pictured eyes are looking. It's a subtle nudge.
Huh. That's clever. A simple way to guide attention for better conversions?
It is. And eye tracking also hints that different people might respond better to different faces. Younger shoppers might connect more with images of their peers, maybe looking more dynamic. Older groups might prefer calmer, maybe more authoritative faces.
So knowing your audience is key for you here, too.
Definitely. Now, what about the deeper brain scans, fMRI and EEG? What do they add?
Right. What secrets do they unlock for e-commerce folks?
Well, fMRI shows more activity in those key areas, the amygdala, the FFA, when people look at websites with big, friendly faces compared to sites without them. It backs up that strong emotional and recognition response we talked about. It validates the power for your brand.
And EEG, that measures brainwaves really fast.
Super fast. And EEG confirms these spikes in engagement when a face appears happen almost instantaneously. It shows how automatic our response is for your customers. Plus, this research suggests our brain starts judging trustworthiness almost immediately upon seeing that face.
A snap judgment that really shapes their view of your whole business.
Pretty much. And comparing static photos to video. Neuroimaging suggests videos with approachable people generate even more emotional connection than just a still image.
Makes sense. The movement, the changing expressions, it adds another layer for your brand.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk bottom line. The behavioral stuff, the conversion metrics. What results are businesses like yours actually seeing?
This is the crucial part, right? Does it actually move the needle on sales and engagement?
Absolutely. Some studies show pages with human faces can see add-to-cart rates increase by over 10%.
10%, that's significant for any store.
It really is. And think about cart abandonment, a huge headache.
Yeah.
Putting a reassuring face near the final checkout.
Yeah.
It seems to reduce those last-minute jitters. That feeling that there's a real person behind the site can give your customers that extra nudge of confidence to complete the purchase.
So it humanizes that critical final step.
Exactly. And even if they don't buy right then, remembering that warm face associated with your brand, that encourages return visits, maybe even recommendations. It builds loyalty for you.
So faces aren't just decoration. They impact the whole journey, from first look to long-term loyalty.
Precisely. So knowing the impact, how are e-commerce businesses actually using faces? It's not just one way, right?
Yeah. Right, we see all sorts, live streams, photos, even those virtual avatar things. Let's break down the options and see how they help you.
Okay, first up, live streaming and real-time interaction. This has exploded, especially with influencers.
Yeah, those live shopping streams. How much do the hosts' expressions and energy actually drive sales for the brands involved?
A lot, potentially. That direct engagement, seeing their genuine excitement, how they use the product, It builds trust and relatability super fast. It can lead to really quick sales spikes for those brands.
It's like having a virtual shop assistant showing you the product right there.
Pretty much. And in some places, this shoppertainment is huge. Seeing someone model clothes or demo electronics live,
Yeah.
massive trust builder. Huge for conversions, especially if you need to see the product in action.
Okay, what about just using static photos, the more traditional approach?
Still very powerful. Simple things like team photos on your About Us page or lifestyle shots with real people using your stuff, but the key word is authenticity.
So avoid those cheesy stock photos.
Please do. They can really backfire, make you seem untrustworthy. Genuine photos, happy customers, your actual team are way more reassuring for buyers. It shows the real people behind your business.
And representation matters too, right? Showing diversity.
Hugely important. Making sure the faces you show reflect your broad audience makes your brand feel more inclusive, more welcoming to everyone. It helps people see themselves using your product.
Makes sense. Okay, what about the cutting edge? Artificial faces, virtual people?
It's interesting. AI can make incredibly realistic faces now. But there's that risk of the uncanny valley.
That creepy feeling when something's almost human but not quite.
Exactly. It can be unsettling, undermine the trust you're trying to build, so tread carefully there.
And virtual assistants or avatars?
Same deal, really. If they're
Yeah.
done well, maybe they feel helpful. But if they're clunky or robotic, off-putting, could drive people away from your site.
It's a fine line.
It is. Even for chatbots, using a simple graphic of a person can feel better than just text. But the voice and personality have to be consistent with your brand, whether it's AI or a real person.
The human touch, even if artificial, needs to feel authentic to your brand.
You got it. Okay, so if you're using these, how do you measure if they're actually working for your business?
Yeah, the million-dollar question. How do you track the impact?
Well, we mentioned the high-tech stuff like fMRI and EEG. Great for research, maybe not for everyday use by most businesses.
Right. Probably too expensive and complex for most stores.
Probably. But facial expression analysis tools are becoming more accessible.
Wait, tools that read people's expressions through their webcam?
Potentially, yeah. With user consent, of course. Automatic facial coding can detect micro-expressions, tiny flashes of emotion. The idea is to get real-time feedback on how users feel about your site elements, including the faces shown. Still evolving, but interesting.
Wow. A bit futuristic, maybe, but interesting. What about more standard methods?
Back to basics. Eye tracking is great if you can do it. See exactly where people look, how long they look at the faces on your pages. Big indicator of impact.
Okay.
Then there are other biometrics like skin conductance or heart rate, sometimes used in lab testing to gauge emotional arousal.
More lab-based stuff.
Yeah, but the most practical for you is behavioral data. Track dwell time on pages with faces versus without. Monitor bounce rates. And crucially, watch your add to cart and completion rates before and after you add faces.
So good old A/B testing and analytics are key.
Absolutely. Combine those methods and you get a clear picture of what's working for your audience.
Okay, so with that understanding, how do we apply it? What are the practical steps for integrating faces effectively?
Right, the actionable stuff for our listeners. First, think about strategic placement in your design.
Where should faces go?
Near calls to action is often good. A friendly face looking towards the Add to Cart button, we know that works.
That visual cue again?
Yeah. But balance is key. Don't let the face overpower the product itself. It should support the product, draw attention to it, not distract from it.
Good point.
And remember cultural sensitivity. What works in one market might not in another. Test what feels right for your specific audience. Tailoring matters.
What about using faces in customer service interactions?
Huge opportunity there. Think live chat. A real agent's photo versus a generic icon. The photo builds way more connection and trust.
Makes it feel like you're talking to a real person.
Exactly. And for B2B or specialized niches, detailed staff profiles on your About Us page photos, bios that helps build credibility. Let clients see the team.
Puts a face to the company name.
Right. And try for consistency. If you feature someone on the site, maybe use their photo in email follow-ups too. Reinforces that personal link.
Builds familiarity. Okay, and product demos. How do faces help there?
Video is king here. Show a real person using your product, unboxing it. So much more engaging than just text. Lets people imagine themselves using it.
See it in action.
Yeah. Live webinars or Q&As with your experts visible. Great for showing expertise and enthusiasm. And don't forget, user-generated content.
Pictures or videos from actual customers.
Yes. Seeing happy customers using your product is amazing social proof. Super authentic, often more powerful than your own marketing content.
Like a personal recommendation. Okay, this is all great stuff. How does a business actually start implementing this? What's the roadmap?
Good question. Start with assessment and planning. Audit your site now.
Hmm?
Where do you use faces? How are people responding?
Take stock.
Yep. Then spot opportunities. Where are the friction points in your customer journey where a face might help build confidence? Checkout, product pages.
Identify the pain points.
Exactly. And decide what you'll measure. Bounce rate, conversion lift, time on page. Get your baseline metrics before you change anything.
Measure twice, cut once kind of thing.
Pretty much. Next step, testing and optimizing. A/B testing is your friend here. Test pages with faces versus without. Test different faces, different placements. Constantly. Use your analytics. Maybe get user feedback through surveys. Treat it as an ongoing process. Iterate based on what the data tells you works for your audience.
It's not a one-and-done fix.
Definitely not. And finally, think cross-functionally. Your marketing and design teams need to be aligned on the message and visuals.
Get everyone on the same page.
Yeah. Talk to your tech team too. Make sure images are optimized so they don't slow down your site. And have a long-term plan for keeping things fresh and refining your approach.
So it's a team effort, really. Okay, let's wrap this up. What are the absolute core takeaways for our listeners?
Okay, key principles. Faces build trust, use them. Authenticity is king, ditch the cheesy stock photos. Enhance key touch points, check out product discovery, and always test and refine based on data.
And a quick roadmap again.
Audit first. Allocate resources, photos, design time. Set up your measurement, then test, learn, repeat. It's a cycle of improvement.
And looking forward, the future of human connection in e-commerce.
Look, things are getting more personalized, AI is advancing, but that fundamental human need to connect with other humans, often through faces, that's not going away.
So the tech might change, but the core need remains.
I think so. The brands that blend the tech smarts with genuine human connection, they're the ones who will likely build the strongest, most loyal customer relationships online.
Makes sense. So if you're a Shopify merchant listening to this and thinking about adding those human elements, definitely check out the Growth Suite app. It's designed to help you easily add things like staff or customer photos, actually measure how they're performing for you, and keep refining your strategy. It's all about building that deeper, more personal connection with every visitor. You can test it for free in your Shopify store. Just search for Growth Suite on the Shopify App Store.
Definitely worth checking out if you want to put these ideas into practice.